In today's economy, more people than ever are looking to buy and sell businesses. But how do you do it? Welcome to the Deal Board, presented by Transworld Business Advisors. Straight talk about real deals and real people. Listen to stories, interviews, and expert advice to help your business sale, merger, or acquisition process. Now, here are your business exit experts, Andy and Jessica.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. And we have an update for you, and it's time for us to do that. Listen, we're into Q2 of 2024. Q1 is rocking along, and Jessica and I were reading the BizBuySell Insight Report, and we felt it pretty much reflected what we see going on here at Transworld with our statistics. So we wanted to go over some of this report with you.
Yeah, so we're going to go kind of some of the themes that BizBuySell saw, give our spin from it from Transworld. I think the overarching message, though, is 2024 is definitely picking up some steam in terms of volume and prices, especially in some really surprising industries that we don't typically see. So there's a lot of positive signs and indications for a really strong year ahead.
Yeah, I think we're seeing that, and I think we could jump right into it. Mm-hmm. That in the first quarter, small business acquisitions grew 10% over the previous year and 3% over the previous quarter. And looking at the chart, it looks like it's basically up almost since 2019.
Yeah, it's definitely over the 2019 levels. It's like pretty close there. I think the most positive thing we see this is it's 3% up over Q4, which usually, Q4 is a stronger quarter typically than Q1. But, it's just, again, it's just reflecting there's a demand for business acquisitions. And we saw in BizBuySell's reporting in Q1, a total of almost 2,400 businesses changed hands, representing over $1.8 billion in transactional value, which is up 24% year over year. So good numbers.
Yeah, and we're seeing that here at Transworld too. I mean, while we're up a little bit in the number of transactions, we see the bigger deals getting done. I know that our $100 million plus deals are up 20-something% year over year.
Yep.
So it's been busy.
And, 2023 was relatively flat. We talked a lot about this with interest rate hikes and inflation, but I see we'll talk a little bit about inflation still a thing and costs are still going up, but I feel like the buyers have normalized the rates, right? So even though we haven't seen rates go down a lot, I've seen that the buyers are getting used to the rates. And I was reading an article today that historically, if we look at interest rates, it's really less about what the actual interest rate is versus how quickly they escalated in terms of perception from buyers, whether it's good or bad. So,
yeah, I think everybody was just looking for some certainty at the beginning of 2023, which we've talked about before. And now that things have settled out and they feel pretty assured in 2024 that it's at least going to stay the same, if not come down. I think the Fed has been hesitating bringing the interest rates down. Several of our Transworld folks just took a trip to headquarters at Live Oak Bank, and they are, like other banks, thinking that 2024 demand is going to go up and has already gone up.
Yeah. So overall, I think really good initial assessment for the quarter. I think one of the most surprising industries, and this is a really good positive thing for anyone who's in this industry, is restaurant prices. Restaurant sale prices are up as we're starting to see buyers pay a premium for even high performers. And typically restaurants are one of the top affected businesses when we see demand or prices go down, and the recovery can be slower too. But seeing that restaurants in that industry is having a quick recovery is really encouraging.
Yeah, I think we're still seeing restaurants, and the second gen restaurants are selling well, and there's still a high cost to building out restaurants. There's still a high cost of getting through the permitting process, and you're seeing that a lot of restaurants are expanding, right? So there's plenty of chains expanding, plenty of franchises expanding, plenty of individual owners looking to own their own business. As we said, Gen X is out there. Gen Z is starting to buy businesses. So I think what you're seeing is those second gen restaurants and those existing restaurants that are making money are highly sought after.
Yeah. And I mean, the data shows that too. So buyers are really focused on the higher end restaurants. So those higher end usually have those high build out costs. And yes, the median sale prices are up, but also median cash flows were up almost 14% over the previous quarter and 4% over the previous year. So it seems like restaurants in general, they have hit their strides, and, whether they've recovered from the inflation or they just have figured out how to combat it, the industry is doing better overall. And then in the acquisition market, the buyers are responding well to that.
Yeah, I think that for the most part, they've raised their prices. And, the next headline on the report was 70% of small businesses say inflation is not easing. And both food costs, obviously, that you've seen those go up across the board, and the restaurants are raising those rates. Labor costs weigh heavy as well. And so there's a lot of competition for labor. And we've talked about this before, that a lot of restaurants are looking to POS systems or maybe even robots or kiosks to try to ease that labor costs.
Yeah. They said 29% of small businesses are struggling with payroll costs right now. And some are claiming that it eats 50 to 60% of their revenue. So there's a couple ways that they've been combating that. That's interesting that BizBuySell pointed out in this report, and we've heard from our clients as well. But 81% of small business owners say they're already paying above minimum wage, and 44% says the rising minimum wage has had a negative effect on their business. So overall, it's still trying to figure out, how do you balance this accelerating cost for talent and for people in your business, which almost every industry has a people component, some more than others.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of people, nearly half of the businesses say that 47% in the report say they're still understaffed and they have trouble attracting qualified applicants. So it's tough out there. But I think the other trend you're seeing, and a lot of people are annoyed by this, and we certainly see that on social media and people showing their checks, is that a lot of small businesses adding tips to the checkout. And we've seen this in every single business. That eases pressure on rising wages. So they're able to give their employees more money through this checkout. And it does get annoying at sometimes.
Yeah. I think there's definitely from a consumer standpoint, some perceived abuse of it, but only 18% of owners surveyed said they did add tipping prompts to their payment processing systems. And a lot of them were in typical industries that you would expect tipping. But of those who added it, 42% said it eased the pressure of raising wages. And this is really interesting. So I go back to, I had a conversation with a recruiter friend of mine a couple years ago, and we were talking about Gen Z and the younger millennials and what they wanted in a career, and they wanted uncapped earning potential, right? So if you think about adding tips to an hourly gig, that's where you can maybe get, even in an entry level job, even in hospitality, where you can have uncapped earning potential.
Yeah. A lot of people are looking for that. That's why they buy businesses, and that's why they're calling us. So, and to combat that, right, we keep talking about AI. So 71%, which is huge. I think this is a huge statistic. 71% of small businesses say utilizing AI has improved their business performance. That's huge.
That's huge. If you think about it, and this is across businesses of all sizes, all industries, it's a very large percentage of people that are embracing AI. And of those 71%, 35% says they're now actively using it in their business. Mostly in marketing. So 69% in marketing, analytics, 37%, and 28% customer service. So we tie that back to the labor issue too, right? I don't know necessarily, we're not seeing the data that they're replacing people, because there's still a lot of labor problems, but maybe they're trying to get their staff more efficient by pairing AI and customer service, analytics, marketing, some of the more, I'd say, areas of the business that could be automated or supported by technology. And they're trying to leverage the staff that they have.
Yeah. And it makes the staff's job easier and maybe more pleasurable, or maybe it makes them even feel more high tech, that they're using or giving them skills that they could transfer later. So I think it's good so far. We were talking earlier, just before this, before we jumped on, that, all this AI out there, we feel like, you said that you feel like there's a lull, right?
Yeah, I feel like, look, and we were talking about this too. I think the key word I said there is it makes people more efficient. I don't think we're at a point where it's replacing people or jobs or functionalities just yet. I think we had the spike in AI and the technology that developed it, but now you're just seeing really every new app that's coming out. It's the same general function, right? And it's getting you started in a project, but you still need that human capital, that human intelligence to actually process the data and take action in whatever you're doing with the AI.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And if you haven't listened, we've got two great AI episodes. We had one general AI episode, and we had another one that was specific to the business sale industry too. So
check it out. Check it out. And speaking of checking out, retail acquisitions have picked up, but we've seen this too. We've seen retail being an opportunity for people. Now, they said it grew 7% over the previous quarter and 10% over the previous year. So that means that those small retail businesses are coming to the market. And speaking of episodes, we did an episode with Tugboat and the Bird, great episode about a small retail business and how they grew it and sold it. But this uptick in acquisitions suggests more sellers are motivated to close deals. So the prices have come down somewhat, though.
yeah, but it was interesting too, Andy. They said the increase in volume was also made up of lower price deals, which I find is a positive thing because almost a lot of times we find it's troubling to sell some of these smaller businesses, and especially in retail. And to see that these smaller size deals are moving in the retail space, I think that's really positive to see where the market's going in general, even though when we look at the numbers, it's going to bring the average deal price down a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's still opportunity out there in retail. Obviously, it looks like there's opportunity to buy good value deals and maybe even pick up a few of them. So, even with people ordering online and inflation maybe driving up, driving down demand a little bit on the retail side, many, brick and mortar companies are doing different things and have a heavier focus on in-store customer experience. And, a shout out to a board that I sit on that owns It's Sugar. They're always into that retail entertainment thought.
Yeah, retail's a really interesting vertical for us to continue watching. Speaking of different verticals, service-based businesses, the service verticals are showing thinner margins and sale prices decline. Closed transactions grew 7% over the previous quarter and 7% year over year. Now, the median sale price did decline 5% from the previous quarter. I don't think that's a huge decline. And same thing like we talked about in retail, it could be indicative that some of the smaller deal sizes are moving, which is a good thing overall for the market.
Yep. And again, if things are getting tight in some industries, demand for distressed manufacturing businesses has gone up. Mm-hmm. So I think that perhaps, again, there's little pockets of this distress out there, but PPP and ERCs and EIDL loans may have propped up some of these people, and now they're starting to liquidate or maybe starting to sell. Again, another opportunity for a lot of people.
Yeah, manufacturing honestly is pretty tough space for buyers to get into. They're really ultra competitive deals in an ultra competitive industry. So if you are a buyer that's looking in manufacturing space, this could open up a lot of opportunity for you in the next coming quarters.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, as far as the market outlook is concerned, this is a good way to go into business these days. I think this is showing is that while we've talked about it's a seller's market, I think the buyers have an opportunity here.
I think the buyers have an opportunity. You know what I think? It's a good balanced market, right? We're not seeing like multiples go down or be depressed or anything like that. So the sellers are still getting good multiples, good payouts for their businesses. We are seeing more favorable deal terms again for buyers, though. We're seeing an uptick in seller financing and things like that. And so I think it's a good balanced market. And then when you pair things like, financing, the interest rates are a little bit higher, but they're pretty stable. They're not likely to come down at all. And banks are still lending, right? You mentioned Live Oak, like there's still a lot of lenders out there that are searching for deals. So I think we have all the components, all the ingredients for the recipe of a great 2024. And 2023 was kind of one of those lull plateau years, but even Andy, like we've seen the uptick in our businesses. Like there's been more listings, more sellers coming to market in Q1 of 2024 than most of 2023. We've seen a huge uptick in buyer inquiries. It just seems like the fire is lit again in the market.
Yeah, we really think that this is going to roll through this year. Again, it's an election year, might slow it down for a month or two, but we're going to roll right into Q4 2024, right into 2025. And I think it's going to be a very robust market. And you know what? I think prices might start to tick up as well, keep ticking up, because 41% of the businesses out there expect 2024 to be their most profitable year since 2020.
Yeah. And I think if you look at the business owners and it's interesting with restaurants and retail that have recovered the quickest because they were forced to make the changes the fastest in terms of inflation and rising labor costs. And if we look at those two sectors and we see, wow, they've really rebounded nicely. And because of that, the buyers are responding nicely. I think that what it says is if you're a business owner and you have a well-managed business, strong financials, you've positioned your profit and cash flow favorably, I think you're going to see a high demand for your business in 2024.
Yeah. And going into the next couple of years, I think there's going to be more opportunities too in the commercial real estate space.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about offices and the weakness in the office sector. And I think what you're going to see is some landlords trying to convert some of those office spaces. And there might be an opportunity for small businesses to take advantage. We've seen that, right? Before, when businesses make a lot of money during these kind of like uncertain markets. And so if you have an ability to grab commercial real estate over the next couple of years, you might be in a very good position.
Yeah, I think both of us, we have a commercial real estate team in Transworld too, and we both watch that market as well. It's not as favorable as the business sale market, but we have talked before, like these times are times to renegotiate leases or extend them, or there's a lot of office properties sitting on the market right now. And if you've considered buying, this is a great time to do it. And also, if you do it with a business, it can give you more favorable loan terms. There's a lot of advantages. So it's a good thing to talk to your business broker about. If you are looking to acquire a business, talk about acquiring the space that goes with it.
Yeah. Listen, to wrap this up, I think Q1 was good. I think Q2 and Q3 are going to be even better.
Yeah, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yep.
All right. Well, we have a deal of the week and a listing of the week for you as always, but we hope that this little insight to what's going on in the business brokerage world and M&A activity was helpful for you. We'll be back again with this update report like we are after the close of every quarter.
Yep. So get out there, get some deals done, and here come a few new listings and deals of the week.
Let's do it.
Transworld Business Advisors is the world's largest business brokerage and mergers and acquisitions firm with over 500 brokers in nearly 200 offices worldwide. Transworld's team handles thousands of business sales every year. To be connected with a qualified business broker or learn more about the buying and selling process, visit tworld.com/the deal board or call 888-719-9098.
Hey, Jessica, you know what time it is?
Money time?
Almost. It's time for Listing of the Week.
Hi, everybody. John Fullerton with Transworld Business Advisors in Omaha, Nebraska. And I've got a great new opportunity that serves the Omaha and Council Bluffs greater metropolitan area. It's a construction-related business, and it's a specialized niche of construction. They don't have a lot of competitors, and actually they dominate the niche that they're in here in the Omaha area. They're asking $3 million for the business, and also available for sale is $1.6 million real estate, if you'd like to buy that along with the business. It has been pre-approved by lenders for down payment, potentially for a buyer who's approved by the lender, only $162,000 on the business. And if you wanted the real estate as well, then a larger down payment is required, $731,000. But it's a very different type of business, but it's not too complicated. Very nice, very well maintained, fantastic business, makes very good money, and a lot of great employees on staff. Very modern building in excellent condition. And last year they had more than $700,000 in seller's discretionary earnings. So very good opportunity at the right price. It could be a strategic buyer who's involved in construction and wants to penetrate a different part of the industry, or it could be somebody who wants to just own a business and be involved in construction. I do recommend you have some kind of construction background, but it's not too difficult of a business to learn. So if you'd like more information, please call me at 402-213-9945 or email jfullerton@tworld.com. Thanks.
Hey, Andy, do you know what time it is? It's time for our deal of the week.
Deal of the week.
Sold. Hey, welcome back, everybody. It is Deal of the Week, and I have Adam Lawson from Transworld Business Advisors of Central Florida, and we are talking about his latest deal, and it's a pizza parlor. We love pizza parlors. So, Adam, tell us about the deal a little bit.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Andy. Really cool story. The seller, he's been doing pizza and Italian classics for 52 years, 14 different restaurants throughout different cities and states. And he's actually from Italy originally and hasn't been back in 60 years because he's been just grinding away in all these pizza shops. So now he finally can retire and go back to Italy to see his family and everything. So that's pretty cool. And also on the buyer's side, this gentleman has been doing pizza for 47 years across 17 different pizza shops. And he is now 77, in great shape and everything, by the way. He has a pizza shop more beachside, and he's actually carrying on the legacy and bought it for his grandson to run. And this is in Seminole County. And so between the two, 99 years of pizza experience in 31 different places. So pretty cool.
Well, that's good for the customers. Obviously, they're going from one really good pizza maker to another legacy of an amazing pizza maker. So that's great. And how much did the business sell for?
$55,000.
Yeah. So I think that's a really good, opportunity to show people here on the deal board that, of course, we love selling the multi-million-dollar businesses, but really, when it comes down to it, we're serving mom and pop businesses across the world. And sometimes it's just about, providing a family with an opportunity for a young person's first entrepreneurial,
Exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So this young man, right?
Yep. Young man.
Young man's going to have an opportunity to to see what it's like to run a small pizza parlor. And having done it myself, I know that it's a lot of hard work. So great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
So Adam, if anybody wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Cell phone 407-893-1627 or email me at alawson, ALAWSON @tworld.com. Those are probably two best ways right there.
Excellent. And yes, if you want a young man who's going to be working hard for you selling your business, Adam is the guy to go to. Thanks, Adam. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks for tuning into the show today. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends on social media. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcasting app. If you have questions, would like to appear, or have suggestions for topics for the show, get in contact with us through our website, thedealboardpodcast.com.